Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at the Cambridge Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood. And I'm here with director and writer Polly Steele and producer Lizzie Pickering with their movie, Let Me Go. Let's take a look at a clip.
And is it possible that when you open the doors that some people possibly were still alive?
Ich weiß nicht.
What do you mean you don't know? I thought you were a figure of authority in the camp. I thought everybody was always keeping you informed of everything that was going on.
Es ist kalt. Ich muss rein.
I don't care. You're not going in. I'm not going to let you.
Ich bin alt. Ich könnte krank werden.
I don't care.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm so honored that you've come all the way from England to be here to share your film, and congratulations on Let Me Go. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
So Let Me Go is a story about 4 generations of women, and it starts with a trauma in the Second World War when a little girl was abandoned by her mother. And it's a contemporary story though, and so what we realise is 60 years later she hasn't seen her mother. So basically a letter comes through the door and she is told that her mother is dying in an old people's home in Vienna, and if she wants to see her for the last time she needs to come now. So it's a moment in time where life changes, and suddenly we realise that the secret is that her mother left to become a guard at Auschwitz. And that is something she's kept inside her all her life. And as this secret is revealed, it obviously has massive ripples right through the family and all the 4 generations of women.
I honestly thoroughly enjoyed it. I was totally moved, and you know, I'm completely fascinated by, you know, movies that have come from that period, and I just thought, wow, your story is such an important story to be heard that we've not even remotely gone close to in understanding from that period of time. And the fact that it's based upon a true story is unbelievable. You have an incredible story about how you came to create this particular story. Tell us a bit more about where the inspiration come to making this into a film.
Well, I really believe that stories are a way of us looking at a mirror and seeing who we are as individuals or as a society, and that's where storytelling came from, really. And so I think we pick stories up almost, you know, subconsciously. We don't even know why half the time. So I picked it up a very long time ago. Something attracted me, and as I began to get involved in it and research it, and I realized there was a parallel story in my own life that was obviously a completely different setting, but it was a story of abandonment, and it was my dad who was left as a little kid of the same age as Helga. And so I think sometimes, you know, these personal journeys happen in parallel with the making of a film, and so that started me off.
It's amazing. Now, both you and Lizzie have known each other for a long time. Is it mutually your husband brought you together?
Polly's husband.
Polly's husband brought you together. So we can thank the husbands here. That's good.
Yes, the missing men.
The missing men. Yeah.
It's a very big theme in the film, actually.
That's right.
There's no men.
There's no men,
No.
which, you know, in today's entertainment, was wonderful to see that this story was being told. This female-driven story by these 4 generations, you know, was incredible. Not to mention, you know, directed and produced by, you know, 2 women as well. So certainly we're moving in the right direction in that respect, which is fantastic. But no, I mean, you know, it's incredible you met each other. What happened when, you know, I'm sure Polly came to Lizzie and was like, right, do you want to make this? What was your reaction to that, Lizzie?
Well, we'd often talked about working together in the past as we were doing our other careers and taking part on our sort of journeys to come together, I suppose, work-wise. And we Polly had a number of projects that were possible, and we really workshopped together, didn't we? We sat with pieces of paper and we mind mapped and worked out what was the one that kept coming forward that we both felt passionate about.
Yeah.
Because for me, trying to raise the money for the film with Polly, I have to really understand it and feel it deeply. I don't think you can go and ask anyone for money for anything unless you really believe in it. Well, I couldn't.
It must have been harder for you because you have a background of fundraising for children, which is a lot sounds, you know, a lot more like people can feel their heart, and then now you've got to do it in a movie, which is a little bit different, isn't it?
And I had a slight disconnect with that at the beginning until I met Helga. The disconnect was it's an arts project and it's a drama with actors. How do I do that? How do we do that versus reality? And then, of course, Polly took me to meet Helga, and we spent nearly a week with her.
And you went to her, didn't you?
Yes, she lives
she was
Bologna.
in Bologna, yeah. Okay.
And we had a translator with us because she only speaks Italian. And then to really understand her true story and what her childhood was like, it was such a no-brainer then. It was instantly connect and instantly, we have to make this film. There wasn't an option of not making it, having met her.
And it's almost as well, I mean, especially for her, it must have felt like you're almost creating her legacy, you know, the film that's going to live on, that tells her story, which is actually incredible. I mean, listen, to tell this story correctly, you have to have the most incredible cast, which can really feel and understand the story. I'm still baffled how you got these amazing actresses together, and you just couldn't imagine anyone else playing these characters. But my goodness, you really had some tremendous. How was the casting process for you?
So it started very early on, and you know what it's like raising money for a small indie film. You have to get a name attached, and obviously Juliet Stevenson, particularly in the UK, is a big actress.
Oh yeah.
And so we went. I had a few names, but we went out to Juliet. She read the script and had tea with me, as you do in the UK, as you said.
Everything's done over tea. Everything's over tea. Yeah.
And she just loved the part. I mean, more than anything, we also talked about the fact that women of her age don't get given a lot of meaty parts.
Really?
There aren't that many out there.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So
what was that feeling like for you? Something you'd written, and then you get one of like Britain's most iconic, actresses just say, "Hey, I want, like, please." And she didn't even just say it. She was like, "No, don't give this to anybody else," right?
Well, obviously, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's an affirmation. But more than anything, it's an affirmation of the kind of story that you've found has a resonance out there. And so then once that starts to build, you go, okay, so, there is a universality to this story. It will, it will have a life. So she came on very early, and then once we had her, it, like always, it's much easier to cast the rest of it. So we then cast Jodie, who plays Beth, who also had a sort of personal invested interest in it, and something in her family resonated, and she felt very, very passionately about the subject matter. Lucy took a little bit longer because she's younger and she has a lot going on, but I saw a video that she had done. She did a video interview from LA, and I just thought she had something really special, a real kind of, for her age, I thought she was incredibly still and held herself, incredibly powerfully.
Oh no, she did.
And then Karen, who plays Troudy, who's the old lady of 80, she is brilliant, but we took a long time finding her.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and there were a lot of sort of more well-known actresses who weren't mad keen about possibly their swan song being, a hardcore Nazi. It's a hard thing to take on. So we looked in the UK and Germany, and then the casting director actually said to us, why don't you try slightly further out as well? So then we went to Scandinavia and found Karen almost immediately.
From Sweden, right?
Yeah, from Sweden. And she is so playful in real life. She is the most wonderful,
She's very cool, isn't she?
Yeah, incredibly
cool. She wears leather trousers and high-top DMs.
Oh, love it.
She's amazing.
And but I mean, you couldn't imagine anyone else playing that part now if you see it. It's. I think what's so fascinating too is that you've got the reaction of different generations reacting to either their mother, grandmother, or great grandmother dealing with this. You know, because different generations have different feels about how it would make them necessarily feel. Obviously, you're making a feature film at independent level, which is not easy, right? It's not all plain sailing. Now, you filmed in a few different locations. How did you kind of capture the atmosphere? Where is it that you filmed and kind of really got the essence of Germany or wherever it may be?
Shall I go? So we filmed in Minley Manor, which is a big old stately home. And
beautiful.
Yes, it had just been sold to be made into a hotel, so it was empty, freezing cold, and quite spooky, which probably added to everything.
Yeah.
But it's very European looking. It's sort of turreted, and so the silhouette works very well for the exteriors. And then we set built in all the rooms, so all the flats that you see in Vienna and London we used it like a studio.
I love it.
And then we went to Vienna for a week and filmed all the exteriors.
Yeah, there must have been. I mean, I love it when you find out that you fooled us with your great creativity.
Duped you.
No, it's fantastic. I think it's a real credible thing as filmmakers to really capture those atmospheres, because you've taken this to wherever you've taken the script, and I think that's really wonderful. Was there any challenges you kind of felt in making the film, or was it just all easy all the way through?
There were challenges every single day, weren't there?
Yes.
I mean, I think, I hope that the sort of production values that you see are good.
Yeah.
And so even on that budget, that was hard.
Yeah.
And so we were constantly just fighting the money versus what our aspirations were for how we wanted it to look. So that was definitely, one issue. And I just think that when you're pulling together, I mean, I just feel that we had amazing musicians, incredible actors. The crew were extraordinarily good quality. And you're just juggling not much money to make that all work. And I hope that we, realised it.
Well, you had a magnificent team, and you were saying last night at the screening as well that the fact that you had one of the guitarists from the Radiohead take part.
Drummer,
yes. Yeah.
We were so lucky. The drummer of Radiohead, Philip Selway, wrote the score.
I mean,
the original score for it,
that
which
tiny band,
and Philip was somebody else along with Juliet who got it right at the beginning on the script and believed in it, and that gave us the courage to go forward as well, having those two people behind us at that early stage at script level, and Philip involved all his people, and the soundtrack is released, it's available.
Oh, fantastic.
If people want to find it, they go to our website, which is letmegomovie.com.
Oh, fantastic.
And they can find links to how to listen to the soundtrack.
It really was, it had to be a very powerful score, given the context and the story of the film, and it really did resonate, I think, greatly.
And it's his first score as well.
That
so
I don't
truly
believe.
Remarkable.
Yeah, that I don't believe. Having made the film, and I'm so grateful you made it, because I feel like it's a story that I'm almost like, how have we not talked about this? I mean, this has got to be one example of maybe quite a few women that are war criminals, but we don't even really hear about it. It's unbelievable.
And it's so unusual for the mother to leave the children. We hear all the time about the men leaving in war, but we don't hear about mothers abandoning their children.
One of the reasons that I felt the story was so powerful is that I think in history we get stuck in certain channels of understanding. And I really truly believe that for contemporary conflicts as well, unless we understand both sides, however traumatic that might be, and however against the grain that might be, how will we ever resolve conflict?
Absolutely. Communication's the key of understanding, isn't it, of each other?
For everything.
So,
For everything.
So to get inside Troudy's head, even a tiny bit, however sort of non-PC that might be.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There was some remarkable, powerful moments you had in the film. Without giving too much away, there was one, just between, grandmother and great-grandmother, just the fact that she just missed, but still see, like any daughter would do, their mother's love. And even though her mother is not who she wants and not what she expected, but they both still wanted to give love to each other. And just those moments that, a mother's love, to their child, no matter what history is just important for each and every one, it's just something there that's unconditional, unexplained, but it's there, yet you've got this unbelievable story, you know, and that was such a one of the very many powerful moments in this film that I really thought was wonderful. What's it like having, you know, gone through this journey, making this film? You know, I mean, you say it. What I love that you said last night, it took 10 years, but then it takes James Cameron 10 years to make a film. So, you know, you're quite in the same category as him, and he makes great epic films like you. So, what is it like after, you know, coming together and making this film, looking back on it? What's that feeling like of having that? And then here, being in Los Angeles at NewFilmmakers LA, thank you Norwegian Airlines for bringing these amazing, talented ladies over. What's that feeling like to have your film out there and released to an audience?
I mean, I feel that whenever an audience sees it, it's just an amazing affirmation. It's different because when you're making it, you're in it, and you're very much the sort of, in a way, the center of it. But then you release it. It's like giving birth, isn't it?
Yeah.
You release
The
it
film
into
baby.
the world. It is the film baby.
Less
And
painful.
Less painful,
Yeah.
and you give it to others.
Yeah.
And that's a relief, actually.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
It's what it's all about, isn't it?
It's what it's about.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful when other people come and say what they felt and their responses, and you're like, yay, we've done, you know, that's our job done in a way.
Yeah.
You know, you've released something and it just has to take its path in the
And
world. And
That's
maybe,
right.
You know.
Maybe Helga felt an element of that when she passed it to you and then to us.
That's right. And it will live on beyond
There's a
us,
relief
you know?
of sharing.
Yeah.
And actually we did that a bit in our fundraising because we had to have a maverick route to get here.
Of course, yeah.
And the maverick route was that we held storytelling circles, like the Native American Indians, old counselling really, where the elders of the village would hold a circle and people could bring their problems or their issues or their stories, and once shared into the circle, it was the collective's responsibility to deal with it.
Yeah.
So we did the same. We said, this is the story we want to share and we want to make this film. How can you help us? And this was in friends' offices and homes, and we asked people to invite people who might be able to help in whatever way. And that's how our investors came on board.
Amazing.
And so in a way, the whole story has been, Helga shared it with you, you shared it with me, we shared it with the team, and we gradually it snowballed until it was ready to be born, and here we are now.
And here you are now in sunny Los Angeles, on the other side of the world with your film. What is it like? Because we've obviously, this is part of Brit Week and British cinema, and obviously, you know, the Americans are really good to us. We're very grateful for you. You still embrace us and still let us in, so we're very happy about that.
We are.
What is it like to have it as part of a British cinema in Los Angeles and have your film showcased to a whole new audience? What was that feeling like?
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every culture receives things possibly in a slightly different way, and it's always surprising and wonderful, and you know, we all absorb stories differently, don't we?
That's right.
And it's just great, and the sun is great.
It helps, I know. Even on a bad day, the palm trees are still there, the sun is still shining.
So the darkness of the film is contrasted. But with a sort of a bigger spirit and a happier place, and it's kind of, I really like it.
I think a great thing was Friday evening when NewFilmmakers LA, all of you organised for us to go to the British consulate.
Yeah.
And we had drinks in the back garden.
Yeah.
And what was really special about that as a moment was the fact that you'd invited the CEO of BAFTA and Screen International and a lot of your incredible backers for NewFilmmakers LA. And that felt like a real affirmation of Brit film and being in LA. And
I think you had every major president, CEO, chair of organisation all in one room together, you know, having drinks, which is what we do in England, you know, throughout the day. It's how we survive. But no, it was really wonderful and very special. But that's great credit because they came out to visit because you were there, and you know, you both were amazing. What is next for both of you?
Well, we're moving on to a new film. It's a very beautiful love story. I sort of felt after the darkness of Let Me Go, I think I had this hunger for something a little bit more joyful. And so there's an amazing Irish writer called Niall Williams who wrote a book called 4 Letters of Love. And it's been around for a while. It's kind of an iconic book. And we're heading towards that, and we're filming in Ireland in the spring, and we have an amazing actor attached, who I can't really name yet.
Not yet, but I'm not going to say anything, but he's one of the world's greatest. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
all right?
he really is. And in a way, like Juliet came on board, I think I just sort of needed to feel, who is it?
Yeah.
Who is it that, is really the essence of this? So I'm very, very thrilled about that. We're very, very thrilled about that.
Well deserved, honestly. Like, I love your storytelling. I love both of you. Can you please forever work together? Because you just got such a great aura. I want to be on set with you both, like, because you're just both so. I just feel like everyone's just going to have this really fruitful experience of learning and understanding and filmmaking, and I think it's really, really fantastic. And it's such an honor and pleasure to have you both here with us in LA. And we're very excited to see many more of your projects, and best wishes for the rest of this one and also your future projects as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Holly and Lizzie,
Thank
you very much. We're going to have some tea and scones now, I think.